Hey there, it's Pete Thorn, and I'm here today to show you the fantastic Nemesis Delay from the nice folks at Source Audio. I've done some demos for these guys before. Really like this company. I did the multi-wave distortion a number of years ago. That comes to mind. Really terrific sounding pedal. They always do something different. They add a lot of really unique features to their pedals, and yeah, they're just really very forward thinking. They do some cool things. So I was really excited to check out the Nemesis, and I'm really happy that I did. Now, in that track at the beginning of the video, I created 6 different guitar parts and 6 distinctly different delay tones, and I layered them all into one song. That was a challenge. It was, I was worried it was going to, get clashy and have too much delay going on, basically, but I was able to do it, and I was really happy with the results. So the main thing I'm going to do in this video is break down those 6 different distinct delay sounds and show you what I was able to come up with sound-wise on the Nemesis. I want to keep it mainly about music and tones. For full feature breakdown of this pedal, you can check out some of the other Source Audio Nemesis videos. But I will break down a few of the features right now. Now, one thing I want to say is that I think some players, they want a very, very simple delay, like mix knob, time knob, and feedback maybe, and that's it on their pedal board, and they can reach down and tweak that stuff very simple. Some other players want a delay that is super full featured with a million different sounds, lots of programmability, and you can get in really deep and tweak. And the reality is, I think that the majority of us falls probably somewhere in the middle, where we want something that's easy to tweak sounds on the fly, and that you don't need a degree in rocket science to learn how to use. But that also gives you the ability to get some different sounds and different tones. These days it's like the tape sounds, the analog sounds, reverse sounds, and some of the more sophisticated stuff like shimmer style delays and stuff like that. People are sort of expecting that in a delay pedal these days, I guess. So how do you kind of combine that all into a pedal, make it easy to use, and yet give it a high degree of programmability and flexibility? And these guys have struck a really, really nice balance with this pedal, I think. First of all, it's not that big. It's a nice size, so it's going to fit on a lot of pedal boards very comfortably. And second of all, they've given you a bunch of knobs here to tweak all the major delay parameters like time, feedback, mix, modulation, things like that. It's got a button here that allows you to step through 8 different presets. So right on the unit, without MIDI or anything like that, you can store 8 of your favorite sounds and just step through them by pushing this button right here. That's really nice. That might be all the delay that most of us need. 8 different presets, tap tempo. You tap tempo with a switch here that allows you to select 3 different subdivisions right on the front of the unit. So really, really great, and like I say, easy to reach down and tweak those knobs if you need to on the fly on a gig. Now, they've also given you the ability to connect this pedal via a cable. You plug into input 2 here, and the other cable will go to your phone. iOS, Android, and the app is called Neuro. Okay, so using this app, you can get in some really, really deep editing parameters on the Nemesis Delay. Allows you to add things like distortion, change the phase of the left and right signal, add sweeping filters, and all kinds of really interesting things to your delay sounds. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. They made a delay that's highly tweakable. If you really want to get inside and mess with all that stuff, you can. But if you just need a few sounds and a few presets, you can easily store those right here on the front of the unit. Now, there's a whole bunch of different delay engines that we're going to explore here in a second. Analog sounds, digital sounds, tape sounds, noise tape, which I really like. Degrade delay, which is like sort of a bit degraded digital style delay that allows you to get really, really messy. Shifter, which is like pitch shifted delays. Helix, which is like their version of a shimmer style sound. Reverse delays, all kinds of stuff. So there's a ton of different sounds in there to explore. So let's get into it right now. I'm going to break down those 6 tones that I was able to create for the song at the beginning of the video. I'm going to show you what each one sounds like soloed outside of the mix, and you can hear some of the really, really cool sounds this pedal is capable of. Okay, here we go. For tone number 1, I use the noise tape algorithm. It's got a ton of vibe, sounds really cool, kind of degraded. I got in using the Neuro app, and it added some sweeping filter, kind of like phasing almost to the delay, which sounds really, really cool. There's some modulation on this sound as well. Added a bit of distortion, and yeah, it just really made the guitar part come alive. Okay, here's sound number 1. So for the second delay sound, I use the analog algorithm and set the delay to dotted eighths for that edge kind of thing, and added some modulation to the sound. Once again, it's kind of a darker delay, and just sounds really, really cool for a part like this. So this is playing at the same time as tone number one, so you've got these sort of different delay times with the dotted eighth. Part number one was quarter notes, and they're all kind of playing off each other. Okay, let's check out sound number two, soloed outside of the mix. So for sound number three, I used the Diffuse algorithm. I wanted to play great big kind of football or whole note chords and have the delay slowly repeat back, but in a rhythmic way. And this sound has a very, or engine has a very diffuse quality to the repeats. The attack is quite soft on the repeats, in other words. So it allows you to keep the mix up nice and high, and then when those repeats come back, they're not too severe with a sharp attack or anything like that. Okay, let's check out sound number three. Okay, for part or sound number four, I used the reverse delay engine, and what I was going for here was I wanted the tone to be relatively clean, but because I used the reverse delay algorithm, I was able to play a note, have it fade, and then the reverse delay kicks in and it sort of builds back up and ramps back in. It sounds kind of creates an interesting way to sustain a note that's very unique, I think. There's a lot of stereo action happening here. There's a couple different delay taps. You can hear the reverse delays fading in, you know, with a couple different taps. It just sounds really cool, I think. All right, let's check it out. Here's sound four. Okay, for part or sound number five, I use the digital delay engine in the Nemesis. Now for this sound I used my Kemper profiler, and I used a profile of the PT100 amp, my signature amp with Sir. Made this profile myself. I wanted a real solo-y, you know, sustain-y kind of lead tone. So yeah, so I patched in the Nemesis post-Kemper, coming out of the Kemper into the Nemesis, out of the Nemesis into my recording interface. For all the other parts in this video and all the other sounds up till now, I've been running the Nemesis sort of in front of the amp. The amp sounds are actually coming out of plugins in my Universal Audio Apollo Twin. But for this particular sound, this is more akin to maybe what the Nemesis will sound like running in the effects loop of an amp that's maybe set overdriven. So yeah, I use the digital delay engine for this. This is a real common sound I use a lot on gainy guitar solos. Basically, it's a stereo delay with an eighth note repeat on one side and a quarter note on the other side. You know, set for maybe 3 or 4 repeats, something like that. Got the delay mix up pretty good, quite high. And I'm rolling off the top end on the delay a little bit and also rolling off the low end a little bit, which I find just helps the delay sound just sort of slot underneath the core guitar tone nicely. You know, if you leave the delay, especially with a digital delay, if you leave it real full frequency, it can just kind of tend to obscure things a little bit. So rolling off a bit of top end, a little bit of low end helps that a lot, I find. Okay, let's check out sound number 5. Here we go. Okay, for sound number 6, the last sound, I used the tape delay engine. And for this, I was going for kind of a Brian May style thing. He would do this thing where he would play a guitar part and then he'd have a delay come in with a fairly long delay set in time with the original part, and it would sort of play against the original part and harmonize with it. And then he'd have yet a second delay come in, also in time, but set for an even longer delay, and it would play in time, and you get this layered effect. And it's kind of almost like when people are singing in a round, and people start the parts at different times singing, and I love that sound that Brian would get when he would do that, so that's what I was going for on this. Okay, let's check out sound number 6. This is the tape delay engine. Thanks very much for watching my video on the Nemesis Delay from the folks at Source Audio. Just a super cool delay. You can check it out further, check out all the deep features that I didn't cover in this video at the Source Audio website. You see it there on your screen. It's a really nice product. I hope you get the chance to check it out. All right, I'm Pete Thorn. Over and out.